This video covers some test-taking strategies. The biggest problem that most people have is that the test is timed, which means that they either leave a bunch blank or they rush through it so fast and answer the wrong questions. Answering the question that was asked rather than what you think was asked is really important. That's where I lose most of my points. Okay, you can know what you're doing, but if you're not answering the right question, you're going to be wrong. And you've just wasted time. Okay, so be very careful to read what the question asks. Usually questions have some sort of statement followed by a question. After you're done reading through it once, go back and find the question part and read that part again. Also, look at the answers ahead of time. Because as you've seen through some of the other videos we've done, sometimes the answers are real spread apart and you can estimate it off the top of your head. There's one problem I saw that has you converting a rug, it's 58 inches or something like that, into metric. And they give you this equation for, okay, a meter has 39 point something inches in it. But then the answers are so spread apart that they're either saying that the rug is knee high or 3 stories tall. So, picking the one answer that is reasonable is difficult. And it takes no calculations and very little time. All right, another one is not to spend time on time-wasting questions. Okay, if you know that you're not good at, say, area of a circle, you want to guess on circle problems so that you have time for the ones that you can do. All right, I tell people to learn to categorize their problems into 3 categories. The first is, I can do that. That's where you read it and you know it instantly, all the process you need to go through. In which case, go ahead and do them. Second one is, I think I can do it. All right, those are the ones where you look at and you go, that looks familiar. I think if I play around with it a little bit, I'll get the answer. And finally, the final category is no idea. You have no idea. You're like, what language is this? Okay? Those are your 3 categories. This one, you just do it. This one, you just guess. This is your troublemaker. The ones where you think you can do it, and you get your teeth into it, and you really don't want to let it go. However, you only have a certain amount of time for each problem. And while you can gain time from these guys, these are the ones that'll take you over. Okay? So what you need to do is you need to watch your time. Determine how long you have for each problem. And then stick with that. So, for example, I give out the GT predictor. And in that test, there are 30 problems and you get 36 minutes. Okay? So, you want to allot 1 minute to each problem. Okay? There are the extra 6 minutes, but I can guarantee you will go over that minute for that problem, and that's your fudge factor. That's your safety factor. Okay? So you need to watch your time. When you get to a I think I can problem, check your time. Give yourself X amount of time to do that problem. And if you reach the end of that and don't have an answer coming up real shortly, you have to guess. Okay? The second thing to keep in mind is that there's 2 types of guesses. There's wild guesses, and then there's educated guesses. Wild guesses are, you read the problem and you say, I have no idea what this is, how to handle this. So you just kind of look at the answers and pick one. All right, doesn't matter what they are, you just pick something at random. That gives you a 1 in 4 chance of getting it. Okay, if you can narrow it down to 2 reasonable answers, if you can find 2 of them that you can throw out, okay, that will double your chances of getting points for that question. When you get to the point where you have 2 minutes left, just start guessing, going through the wild guess. Fill in an answer for every question. All right. If you get it wrong, you haven't lost anything because you were going to get it wrong for leaving it empty anyway. Next thing that helps you save time is estimating. You've seen a couple times, okay, estimate pi is 3. Does that give us the close enough answer? Change 795 to 8. Okay, that will speed up your calculations quite a bit, and if the answers are far enough apart, you can get them there. Another thing to keep in mind is units. Units will tell you whether you're adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. Okay, remember that if the units are the same, then you can add and subtract them. So if the units are not the same, you either have to make them the same, or the question is not one with adding and subtracting in it. Okay, multiplying and dividing, the units can be anything. However, remember that the units tell you whether you're multiplying or dividing by whether it's on top or bottom. Miles per hour tells you that if you're looking for hours, you need to divide. If you're looking for miles, you need to multiply. Okay? You want the one that you're looking for to be on top. Another thing is it's a very favorite thing for them to do is to give you feet and ask you for yards. Or give you quarts and ask you for pints or gallons. All right? They'll mix this in even with fractions and decimals and such. So watch your units. Some problems like unit conversions require you to have something in your head, have it memorized. There's a lot of those. There's a lot of conversion factors for units. What I tell people to do is to have it written on a piece of paper or card or something and be going through it verbally in your head up until the minute you're ready to walk through the door. Okay? You leave that paper on the outside of the door because they're not going to let you take it in. As soon as you sit down, whip out a piece of scratch paper and write it all down. That empties out your storage so that you can use that mental space for doing calculations. And that way you have your conversion factors right there ready for you when you need them. Okay, now the hardest thing to do. Take a deep breath and relax a little bit. All right? The fight or flight response that you might be going through if you panic turns off your rational thought. You cannot do math if you are in fight or flight mode. It's not physically possible. Okay, so try to relax. The easiest way to do that is to be confident when you walk in. So study your ass off. Good luck.